Hey everybody, welcome along to Base FM Portland Live Session number 12. Now this is over the last year and a half we've featured some awesome artists. We kicked off this feature with Louis Baker, also featured Noah Slee, Milu, Yane, Mellow Downs, Israel Starr, Unchained XL, Jess B. Last week we had Anna Coddington and Julia Deans, and this final one we're featuring Tali playing a new song which is forthcoming off her new album. So first of all, Tali, welcome along to Portland Live Sessions.
Kia ora koutou, kia ora everyone. Thank you.
What I like to do with all these sessions is get my artists to introduce themselves, tell me who you are, where you're from and what you do.
Kia ora koutou, ngā mihi nui kia koutou katoa. My name is Tali. I'm originally from Taranaki, but I spent a lot of my musicians' formative years in Christchurch, Aotearoa, and then I moved to England and I was there for 10 years in Bristol and London, and now I live here in Auckland. I am probably first and foremost a drum and bass MC. I've been a drum and bass MC for coming up 18 years. I'm also a singer-songwriter. I'm a music mentor, a teacher, a self-published author, a published author, and yeah, just all-round general boss lady.
Now, your name was familiar to many in the industry when you were overseas, but I guess our kind of, we've really picked up on your journey since you moved back to NZ at the end of 2011, beginning of 2012. Since you've been home, you've released a mixtape, an album and an EP, which pretty much clocks your releases up to 7 now. And towards the end of this year, 2018, you're going to be releasing album number 8. Well, what I've noticed over the years is that, you know, with your drum and bass roots, it was very much within that genre. But I've seen you perform here with a live band. I've seen you performing with Tali, with Aroha, which is a different style of music than you usually hear your voice on. Your releases, especially the Keta EP, incorporating elements of electronic soul, hip-hop elements, non-drum and bass tempo, but kind of still working with producers that create the same kind of sonics. Yeah. So how have you found that kind of journey from kind of stepping away from the D&B and more into something more soulful, I guess, in your style of songwriting and production?
I guess like I've always kind of been a soulful songwriter. I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of black music, soul music, hip-hop, R&B, and that's kind of where my roots as a writer first started out, when I first started playing the piano and singing. And then I was in drum and bass for a really long period of time, and it was like such a total immersion, you know, like just on the road every weekend, touring a different country and working with different producers and DJs, and it kind of got to the point where, as with anything that you do for a really long period of time, it got kind of exhausting and sort of a little bit stale for me. So it was kind of natural that I would go back into something that I still felt really comfortable and familiar with, but maybe was a slightly different shift from what people knew me doing. So yeah, I sort of said when I came back to New Zealand that I wanted to work on something different and take it back to that real songwriter kind of vibe. But I mean, I don't think it's that different to drum and bass. I mean, it's still electronic music, and like you said, still working with people who have roots in drum and bass and like to experiment. People like Tokyo Pros, for example, who made Birth of a Break on the Keta album. So it's just felt really, really natural. But the whole time I was doing those electronic albums, I had fans all around the world hitting me up going, but when are you going to make another drum and bass album? And I kept saying, you know, when the time is right, when it feels natural, when it's something that's organic, I don't want to do it just because that's what people want me to do. So I feel like this year the time is right. The opportunity has been handed to me to sign to a drum and bass label and make that new album. Yeah.
Okay, so you're signed to Focus Recordings,
yeah.
And at some point this year there will be a full-length release. Who are some of the producers you're working with so far?
Oh, it's meant to be secret, but I guess I can say. So some of the names on there, a lot of really just absolute fire up-and-coming liquid drum and bass producers. People like Sato from Poland, Maka from the UK, SMP, Paramount from Italy, the Vanguard project, which is Steve BC from Spearhead Recordings. Who else is on there? Truth. I've done a tune with Truth, actually, so a little bit of Kiwi influence in there. Some others that are failing me right now, but there's some real goodies on there. I'm super chuffed with this album. I think it's some of my best work.
Yeah, awesome. Now, the song you're going to be performing today, this is going to be a rework of something which is essentially, you've recorded it with, it's produced as a drum and bass tune, but you're going to be performing it today with your live band.
Yeah.
So maybe tell me about the players, first of all, that will be joining you on stage.
I am really privileged to have an amazingly talented band of brothers. I have Cam Sangster on drums and Mike on guitar and Peter on keys, and all of them do play with other bands and other really established musicians. So anytime I get to snare them for one of my performances, I always feel really fortunate. And the song that I'm singing today also features New Zealand singer-songwriter Ed Waaka. So I'm super stoked to have him on board this track.
Now, is this, I remember seeing on your social media a while back, you were doing a call out for, you had tracks that you needed a vocal feature on. You're looking for a male vocal. Is this one of the tunes, obviously, that you were doing the call out for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so someone was like, Ed Waaka, and I was like, oh yeah, of course, love that, brother. And just hit him up, and he was, more than keen. So it's actually been perfect because our voices blend really well together. He totally understood the concept of the tune, vibed off it straight away. So it was a really smooth and easy process.
And is there a release dates when, obviously we're going to hear a live version of the song, is there a kind of a timeline on when the public are going to be able to hear this as a single or something?
I mean, I'm not sure if it's going to come out as a single, but I would like it to. But we're still in the process of working that all out with the label. But the album is looking to come out towards the end of the year, so around sort of October, November time, I think is probably, around about the time I'd like it to come out. So we'll see,
Awesome. Tali, can everyone just put your hands together for Tali? He's going to be performing.
Like it's never been healed since you left. my heart, baby, it feels like it's never been healed since you left. Won't give up, even though my soul is weary. No, I won't give up. I just wanna have you near me.